Hi guys, and welcome to ayahuascapodcast.com. Today we're joined by Scott. Scott, welcome to the podcast. Tell a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, Scott? Where are you coming in from?
From Nova Scotia, Canada.
Scott was a guest at LaWayra Retreat. When was it? 6 months ago-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, and so Scott reached out to me a few weeks ago asking for the logo of LaWayra to send it to him, and I said why. He said he wants to make it tattoo. The logo, for those of you who are watching the video, it's right there on my t-shirt. So and I said why. He said that he's pretty happy with the results he got here, so he wants to put it as a memory. Just so you know, guys, so we changed logo about a year ago. So far I think we have more than 10 people already tattooed it on their bodies, which is a great, makes me very proud. It means the logo we chose was pretty. Just so you know, the logo has been made by #1 Latvian logo designer. For those that don't know, I come from Latvia. So if you ever go to Old Riga in the restaurants you see around, you'll see that the logos they've been made by the same guy. So Scott, why? No, let's start from the beginning. When you came to LaWayra, you came to seek healing from what, and how did you end up at LaWayra?
So I've dealt with PTSD from being a vet in the military for many years, and I've tried so many different medications and therapies, and nothing gave me the relief that I needed. So after a couple of years of doing research with less traditional medicines, I came to do a lot of research on ayahuasca and DMT and medicinal mushrooms, and I did a couple macro doses of mushrooms, and the enlightenment I got from it and the healing in the moment was nothing I've ever experienced from any SSRI or SNRI. So, but it was not lasting. So essentially, the more research I did on DMT and ayahuasca, it just led me to, I guess, looking for different resorts and stuff down south. And I came across yours, and everything about it, from the reviews to the price, it was right up my alley and exactly what I was looking for. So I hit quite a bad low about 2 months before I came to the retreat, and that's what kind of pushed me over the edge to take the gamble, buy the plane tickets, book my place at the retreat, and make it happen. And it has been life-changing.
So before we talk about results, how was the process as your ceremonies progressed? Like, what were you seeing? What were you feeling? And when were you able to say, like, oh yeah, I feel that something happened? Was there one moment, or was it just a gradual shift?
A gradual shift over time. As you know, when I was there, I didn't really have any crazy experiences with the medicine. I went my first 2 ceremonies, and I didn't have any experience at all. It started to kind of hit me in a negative way, thinking, this isn't working. This was a waste of money. By the 3rd ceremony, I had a little bit of an experience, but again, it wasn't anything life-changing. And then the 4th day ceremony that we had on the Saturday, it was a great experience, but again, it was nothing crazy. I never had any visions the entire time I was there. I didn't go very deep, or so I thought. But as everybody says, it's not going to give you what you think you need. It's going to give you what you actually need. So, everybody goes there. It's hard not to have any expectations at all, but of course everybody's there for healing. So you're going to have some sort of an expectation of what you want to receive out of the experience. But while I was there, you know, I was almost depressed leaving because I didn't feel like I experienced what I needed to. But the sense of community and the compassion and the love from complete strangers, that in itself was a life-changing experience. But then once I came back home and I really took everything I learned from my experience at LaWayra. And as soon as I came back home, my wife and my kids and my parents noticed a complete shift in my mentality. And then over time, it was really hard for me to notice that right away. But that's why it took me a while to kind of reach out to you, because I'm very in tune with my emotion and my feelings. But as the months progressed and I was like, I don't feel as depressed as I was. I'm not in that rut and that darkness. Um, and the more I focused on how more light was in my life and how less angry and less judgmental I am, that's when I really started to notice that there was something about that medicine that completely shifted my thought train and that negative emotion.
Yeah, well, that I'm glad you're bringing it up because I don't think enough words are spoken about this subject online, because when people talk about ayahuasca, they expect this big explosion of visions, which comes, occasionally you experience that, but it's completely not what is needed in most of the cases. And at the retreat, I'm sure you remember when you're here, we always talk about, patience, guys. You need to be patient. Release your expectations. The medicine will give you what you need, not what you want. And it's I can say it over and over again. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking to the wall, because people they cannot understand that what I mean by that is exactly what I mean by that, that the experiences is not as you expect them to be. And especially if you've done mushrooms before, or LSD, you expect just that. And ayahuasca is not mushrooms and LSD. It's much more than that. So you might get less visions. It might be completely bodily experience sometimes, but nevertheless, the shift and the change that happens is profound as you experience in yourself. Something has been shifted, something has been removed, and we're not capable enough as, basic human beings we are, to even notice what's happening. This is why a lot of time it feels to people that they're not having an experience, because once again it's not meeting their expectations. But when the retreat is over, and then what really matters is how you feel afterwards, and it changes. It means it was a productive experience. So I'm glad you experienced that, and I'm glad you can talk openly about it, because a lot of people, that their ego gets attached, and then they're like, yeah, I didn't feel anything, and you tell everyone you didn't feel anything. So when you get better, you prefer to, like, I'll just keep it to myself, so they don't think, like, they don't go and tell me, like, I told you, style thing. But yeah, all that matters really is not the experience itself. In the end of the day, is what you feel afterwards, because it's medicine. When you come to the doctor and it gives you a pill, you don't care about how you're gonna feel, like what's the experience of taking a pill is going to be like. This is irrelevant. You want a relief afterwards, and as long as the medicine can provide that, there can be really no complaints. So thank you for mentioning that. So you said you are a veteran, right?
Right.
um, yeah, we do notice that a lot of veterans come through our doors, and I'm for some reason really interested in, like, creating a veteran program. I'm sure I mentioned to you something about it, but we're far from that. But still, I think it's a very, very vulnerable part of a population, because they're generally, the veterans tend to be kind of against the spirituality sort of side of things. So what did you do personally, or maybe how your journey was to being able to, like, accept that, and because generally it's kind of looked down, I guess, in the veteran circles, if I'm not understanding it wrongly.
Um, Honestly, after I released, and I kind of spiraled downhill. Um, I really didn't. I'm very open towards different avenues of healing, I guess, and where conventional medication wasn't working, and honestly, I wanted to come off the conventional medication because, honestly, it's the withdrawals you get from medication. How healthy can that be, right? I mean, it's no different than meth or hard drugs. Your body reacts so negatively when you miss your medication for a day or two that, in my eyes, I was like, how can this be healthy for my brain or my body? So that's when I started kind of looking at more psychedelic healing, and mushrooms, like I said. um, and the healing that I received from one macrodose of mushrooms, the feeling that I got was, I hadn't felt that since I was a kid. So with that, I knew there was more to it, and that's what kind of led me down the rabbit hole to find other psychedelics. And I must have watched 100 videos of different people's experiences with DMT and ayahuasca. So originally, DMT, dimethyltryptamine, found me locally, and that was when the pandemic kind of started to hit. So I didn't have the opportunity to go anywhere to experience ayahuasca. So really, I was only able to experience DMT, which was the only um, thing that I had, and it completely opened my mind to a completely different realm, um, in the mind's eye, so to speak. But that's where the spirituality, like you mentioned, kind of came from. Knowing that there is more to life than what we see in our day to day. Um, and Yeah, that's where the spirituality in me kind of came from. DMT and the psychedelics themselves kind of gave me that shift. And really, I don't really give a shit what other people think
Mm.
about me or what my beliefs are, as long as they work for me and they make my life and the people around me better. That's all that really matters to me.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. But now you sort of went through this journey yourself and working with different plant medicines and finding your relief from your symptoms. Would you recommend other veterans, for example, with similar issues to look for psychedelics or look for plant medicines to experience the relief?
Absolutely. Like I said, with conventional pill pushing doctors, absolutely it does work for some people, but I have been off my medication for quite a long time now, and I've never felt better. And I believe it's all due to ayahuasca. I used to go for ketamine infusion therapy as well, and I got relief from that. But again, it was only short term. Nothing really gave me that mental shift that I received from ayahuasca. So I think um, it wasn't just due to the medicine, it was due to yourself and the facilitators and the whole sense of community at LaWayra. Um, it's nothing I've ever experienced before. Even in the military, there's a lot of community in the military in some aspects, but I've never experienced the compassion and the love for a complete stranger that I experienced when I was down at your retreat. That in itself was eye opening. And from what I gather, watching your podcasts and different pictures and images and chats of people that have experienced the same thing down there, it wasn't just a one off from my retreat. It just seems to be, whether it's the people that the retreat draws in or whether it's the work that you guys and the plant medicine is doing there, it's all combined, and it's awe-inspiring. It's a different world, and it's everything about it is healing.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, we do our best to create the culture of that mutual support and group healing, and I would say 99% of times we're successful in that. Sometimes some groups are different than others, and there's a big spectrum, but I would say most of the times we're able to get people to that state and to that level of compassion. So of course, nothing is possible without people themselves, and obviously without ayahuasca, because as we slowly kind of like direct group in a certain direction, medicine also helps, and in the end it results in this sort of beautiful phenomena you've experienced yourself, which is something when you see it happen, you just want the world to be that way. You want everyone to just care for everyone, and that just can't help but put an idea in your head, like, how wonderful would it be to wake up one day and have everyone had ayahuasca yesterday. That would be a
Yeah.
pretty awesome reality to be alive in, but not sure if it's going to happen in our lifetimes, but slowly but surely we're gonna try and get there. But so yeah, Scott, where's the LaWayra tattoo going going on? Which part?
I haven't figured that out yet, but it's going to be your logo, and it's going to be the actual molecule of
Mhm.
DMT. But I haven't figured out exactly where it's going to go. I'm still designing it right now.
Nice. Once you do it, send me the photo. I'll share it on Instagram. It's
Absolutely.
always it makes me happy. There's a lot of different versions of LaWayras. My wife also has it on her shoulder. So I don't have any tattoos, but if I'd get one, maybe it would be the one
You're
I
going to
started
have to.
with. Yeah, maybe eventually, when I feel ready. But yeah, Scott, I'm happy to have stories like this, people coming over. And a lot of times people reach out to me and they say, I feel better and I get relief from this and that. And sometimes it's physical ailments, sometimes it's mental, and it just makes me happy. The work we're doing is very difficult. As you can probably see in my tired eyes, it's not easy, but that's definitely one of those things that keeps us going. So thank you for coming on. Hopefully, somebody who is listening to that, maybe a veteran or somebody with PTSD or depression, gets motivated to come out to LaWayra, drink ayahuasca, and take a leap, and get relief as well. So, any parting words, Scott? Anything you want to tell to people, or maybe if other veterans want to find you and ask for advice, you want to share where they can find you.
First of all, I'd like to say that the anxiety that I experienced going down there to do this on a whim in the middle of the jungle by myself took a lot. It was the first 3 days. I don't even think I ate anything while I was there. I was terrified. But if I could go back in time, I'd probably slap myself and just tell myself that you're in good hands, and there's nothing to be afraid of. The medicine's going to show you what it needs to show you, and even if it's not giving you visions to literally show you something, you're going to experience something down the road that's hopefully life changing. So I hope to come down again and do a longer stint. It would be nice to have a couple of days prior to the ceremonies to kind of relax and get the shakes out, and then a couple of days afterwards before the long travel home. I think that would make a big change in the experience itself, to give yourself that extra time, because it is fast and furious when you're there and you're doing 3 ceremonies day after day after day. It's a lot mentally and physically. Um, but yeah, that extra few days I think would make a big difference. And now that you have those the the other shanties or the huts set up, I think that's
The
ideal.
cabins.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah,
I absolutely love them.
yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Okay, Scott, thank you for coming over, and Yeah, you said you watched a lot of videos of people describing their experience. Now you're in one of those videos. Hopefully somebody's gonna
Yeah.
watch it, and then they will be in a video, and one day wake up and the whole world will have access to this beautiful tool for healing of ayahuasca or other plant medicines, and hopefully by then we'll have a happier, healthier existence as a society. So
I
thank you
hope so.
for that. Thank you for bravery as well. Not everyone is willing to share about it. It's still a forbidden topic by many, but as you said, you don't care what people think. Same do I,
Not,
Scott. So thank you.
thanks, Sam.
It was a
Bye-bye.
pleasure. Guys, you've been listening to ayahuascapodcast.com. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a veteran friend that might need some relief from any mental health issues, send this episode to him. And uh, so, yeah, thank you guys for listening. See you in the next episode.